Just real quick, I want to specifically talk to the black community, my black community, in regard to relationships, in regard to raising children, in regard to choosing partners, and the corrosion of black men and black women in relationships specifically. So I want to speak to my men real quick. For years, men and women, their relationships have been very turbulent in a sense that men feel like women need to be a certain way in regard to relationships, and men think that a woman's choices should not be a man's burden. I'm not disagreeing or agreeing. On the other hand, you have women saying the exact same thing, but from a female perspective. For the men, I want you to completely hear me out. We have to be the leaders, period. We have to be the leaders for the children. So a lot of men get upset because they say women will choose a certain type of black man that they even know themselves will not be the type to be a reliable father, for instance, be a provider, for instance, be a good role model, for instance. The men who are, you need to show those children how to be a role model for the future. I'm not even talking about individualism. I'm talking about collectively. So you can be a man, have children, you can be a great father to your child. Great. Your mindset, in addition to that, needs to be collectively the entire black community. It has to be, because the only people that are going to cure ourselves are ourselves. That's just the way the world is. And that's the world we have been inculcated into, okay? As far as black people and the things we have gone through and still go through. I'm not saying a man or a woman's bad choices needs to be your burden, but I'm telling you, you need the desire to ensure that that child does not repeat that same cycle. So if you're a man and you meet a woman who already has kids and that father is not in that child's life, you don't necessarily need to be with that woman, but you need to be the big brother for that son. You need to be the big brother for that daughter. You get what I'm saying? It's not necessarily a burden, but it's an unselfish way of fixing our future. It's bigger than sex. It's bigger than lust. Like, we are at a point where it's like, we know we are the only people, the black community, in order for the black community to heal, to become one again, we have to help ourselves. We have to. And we have to be with each other. Loyal. Let go of desire. Let go of that for a second and just say, okay, this is where we're at. We need to fix it now. Children look up to people who are older than them naturally, and they copy what they see. So if they're at home and they're seeing evil things, bad things, that's what they're most likely going to become, especially if their environment is the exact same. We have to be the big brothers for one another. We have to be the big sisters for one another. Because if we don't, who will? We already know nobody will. That's why we're in what we're in currently. Black on black crime needs to stop. We are killing ourselves. And it may be like weird to say, we need to stop killing ourselves before we go extinct. And you can get into a bunch of theories with that. in regard to a new world order. You can go into whatever you want. I'm telling you, we need to stop hurting each other. We need to have each other's back. We need the desire to create our own. And even when you look at history, although when we created our own, like Black Wall Street, like Tulsa, they bomb our communities. We have to, one, keep going, two, fight back if we have to, do what is necessary, and do not be demonized for common sense. All of this, just things I see on the internet, things I see on TV, specifically with Black people at the forefront, giving off an image not only to Americans, but to people who don't live in America. What they see on TV is what they think is. Therefore, we need to set the example, a better example. Know who you are. And that's a problem too, because we're not even taught that. As far as Black people, in school, you start with slavery. That is not where our history started at all. It was completely flipped. In addition to that, men need to be leaders, plural. History shows us that with the Black communities, when they kill one of our leaders, it's like we throw our hands in the air and stop. We need to continue. Who's going to be the next Malcolm X? Who's going to be the next Martin Luther King? Who's going to be the next Marcus Garvey? We are all the leaders.